here are two things in particular that people don't understand about becoming a data scientist, because I see a lot of people that are more junior have a dream of one day becoming a data scientist as a career aspiration, and there are some important things that they don't necessarily understand about it. Number one, for many companies, even if you get a data scientist title, you will still do the exact same work as a data analyst. There's no actual difference between the two. And this comes as a shock for many people who thought that their lives would be very different as a data scientist, and they go and they start a job as a data scientist, and then they come to find out very quickly that it's all the same thing that they were doing as a data analyst. And maybe they left a great job as a data analyst where they really enjoyed the company and they had a growth path, but somebody left to go get a data scientist title because they thought that meant something, and now maybe they're not in as good of a situation and it wasn't worth it. Many people struggle with this when they've had the goal of being a data scientist for a long time, and when they finally get there, it's a major letdown. My recommendation to anyone in their career, not to put too much stock in a job title. There's just not a job out there that when you get some sort of mythical title that it makes you happy. No matter what the title is, even if you dream of being a VP or a chief data officer or anything, like those, getting the title doesn't make you happy, and oftentimes those jobs are tough. And when you have dreamed so long to get this title and then you don't like the job, it gets a little tricky. And by the way, data analysts can also ship and build machine learning models, and have at every single company that I've ever worked with. So you don't need to be a data scientist to ship machine learning models. If that's what you want to do, if that's what you think is going to drive the business forward, a data analyst can absolutely build machine learning models. It's not only the domain of a data scientist. Number two, in companies where there is a strong difference and data scientist is closer to like machine learning engineer, oftentimes the data analysts are having more of a tangible impact on the business. And the reason is that companies have a hard time shipping real machine learning products to production that actually make a difference to the business. Companies are pretty good at getting POCs together, but commercializing and shipping those POCs has been a big struggle for the industry. So many data people have spent years of work on things that don't actually make it to production and don't actually have any real business impact. And people that work in those areas where they're doing R&D, but they're not necessarily seeing the impact of their work on a day-to-day basis, it's not always as enjoyable as what you do as a data analyst, where every single day you can see how the work that you're doing is helping to drive the business forward, because you're there right next to all of the executives trying to make sure that the business does as well as possible, and that you have a large impact and a large part in having that success be driven by what you're doing on the data side. And I know some data scientists who have gone back to doing typical data analysis work because that's what they felt that the business needed more and would have a bigger impact. And for them, they enjoyed most seeing their work have that impact more than doing the sort of more speculative R&D data science work. So again, this is not in any way to disparage data scientists. I've worked with some amazing data scientists who have done some really impressive machine learning things and have opened up new capabilities. So there's a lot of amazing things in the world of data science. This is only to say that there's not some strict hierarchy where data science is better than data analysis. There are good things and challenging things about both of those professions, and one is not better than the other.